how's it hanging, my garage gym geeks, Peloton peeps, and all of the rest of you fitness freaks? Hope everybody survived April Fool's unscathed. I saw Peloton and Echelon both tried to participate in the antics this year. Echelon showing off some AI-generated inflatable fitness equipment, and Peloton announcing new breakdancing classes, which ironically is a class type that is actually offered by Echelon. Though Echelon may have the last laugh, as news regarding Peloton's finances indicate that they may be on the verge of disaster, with their stock plummeting even further from their new all-time low that was set last week. We'll talk about that more in a few minutes. Now, just a heads up, there will not be a This Week in Fitness segment next week, as I will be, for the first time in my life, headed off North America and will be landing down in Cologne, Germany to be at the world's largest fitness expo, FIBO, where pretty much every fitness company will be at. So looking forward to testing some cool new stuff and sharing with you some of the exciting new fitness tech and home fitness equipment that I spot over there. That out of the way, let's kick things off with what I think is most exciting on this list, and that is the announcement of Rep and PÉPIN's collaboration for a new Fast Series adjustable dumbbell that can quickly adjust from 10 to 125 pounds. So there's a few things that gets me really excited here, and one is that PÉPIN is already well known to make some of the nicest adjustable dumbbells in the market. But the problem is that they are a smaller company, so they've always just beyond the price range that most people can justify to purchase a set of dumbbells like this. Now, since Rep is a much bigger operation, this collaboration allows them to offer what looks like to be similar, if not an improved version of these dumbbells for way less cost. And while it may still seem expensive to some, it really is a great price for this level of quality with an adjustable dumbbell that has this large of a weight range. Another reason that these look great is just how compact they are. As many of you know, adjustable dumbbells can often be much larger and clunkier than their traditional counterparts, but these are much more compact than most other options and much more comparable in size with regular dumbbells. The dumbbells can be adjusted in 10-pound increments, but there's also a magnetic pin on the inside that allows you to add 2.5-pound micro plates that allow you to make increments up to 5 pounds at a time. They come in several options at 85 pounds, 105 pounds, and 125 pounds, but what I think is really a big selling point here is that it is all upgradable. So if you only need the 85 pounds now, but eventually may like to upgrade to heavier weights, you can just order the additional plates over time as you need. You don't have to buy a whole new set of adjustable dumbbells. So that is really smart. And if these end up being as good as they look, which I have no reason to doubt at this point, they'll definitely end up being some of the most popular high quality adjustable dumbbells out there. So definitely worth taking a look at, though they aren't available right away. You can pre-order them, but shipping is estimated to be around September of this year. Also available for pre-order is the long-awaited Chiller by iSparrow. You know, the plunge has really been the go-to mainstream cold bath for a few years now, and the iSparrow is sort of behind mainly because there wasn't an included chiller, so you'd have to provide your own ice. But now there's a new smart Wi-Fi enabled chiller coming out in just a few months that'll work with any of the iSparrows that were redesigned over the past year. And it looks pretty exciting. One, because at least for me, I find getting into and staying in this sort of more vertical design a lot more comfortable than laying back in a tub. But also what I think will end up being a big deal here is the price, because now you can finally get a really nice premium cold plunge setup for under $4,000, whereas before the plunge was sort of the cheapest premium option at $5,000. And I'm a big fan of taking cold baths, so anything that lowers the cost for more people to get the benefits from this in their home is definitely a big positive. Now, moving back to Peloton, let's also talk about something positive first before we dig into some of their more catastrophic news. And that is that Peloton has added a new class type called metric classes. Though technically these aren't new since they used to have them many years ago, but they are new to most of us. And in these classes, the instructors really just don't talk very much. They'll call it what you should be doing in terms of the metrics you should be shooting for, but then they'll stay quiet while you listen to music during the rest of it. And you know what? That sounds pretty enjoyable, because there are certainly a lot of coaches that I would take if I didn't have to listen to them speak. So I'm pretty intrigued to take some of these. Let me know what you think about them in the comments. But alas, Peloton as a company does not seem to be having a great time right now. Last week, we titled the episode "The Death of PÉPIN" because of how low the stock had dropped, bringing their value down from around $45 billion a few years ago to almost $1.5 billion. And now that stock has continued to plummet even further to $1.3 billion, which is pretty insane for what is the most recognizable home fitness brand out there. And the reason it's continuing to drop is because of new reports indicating that Peloton may be on the brink of financial catastrophe. According to data from CreditSafe, a business intelligence platform that analyzes companies' financial, legal, and compliance risks, Peloton has failed to pay their vendors on time over the past several months. Now, sometimes paying bills late is a strategy companies use, and it isn't always an indication of trouble. However, when companies have sudden fluctuations in how often they are paying their bills while their sales are falling, that does often indicate the business is in financial trouble, and is a similar pattern as you'll see when looking at previous companies like Bed Bath & Beyond, Radio Shack, and Toys R Us before they eventually declared bankruptcy. So with Peloton, their late payments spiked in December, then dipped in January before jumping back up in February. Now, Peloton themselves are calling CreditSafe's data inaccurate and saying that it doesn't align with the company's own payment information, and added that Peloton is not facing a liquidity crunch. That said, CreditSafe has classified as being at high risk of failure, and obviously that is scaring the market away from Peloton stock as risk of bankruptcy continues to increase, whether or not Peloton agrees with that assessment. And like I've mentioned, I think there is still a very high likelihood that Peloton will be bought out this year, as there has to be some pretty strong interest at this point, with Peloton's price continuing to drop, and arguably drop further than what is really justified by their actual numbers. So any tech company that wants to add on what is the most recognizable home fitness brand that pulls in hundreds of millions of dollars per year in subscribers has to at least be looking at this. For now, we'll have to wait and see. Next up, we have a quick update about iFit's new memberships. I reported about this a few weeks ago that iFit announced changes to their membership, which they say will, quote, more accurately mirror your fitness journey with iFit. Now that they've revealed a bit more about these changes, there really isn't anything to report outside of their regular prices, outside of one detail. That being that the individual memberships are no longer available, which is a huge bummer because that was one of the best reasons to go with iFit over other options, in that you could get an individual membership for around $15 per month instead of the typical $40 per month that they and others charge for the family membership. But now that is no longer an option. If you have an individual membership already, you can keep it as you are grandfathered in, as long as you continue to make payments. But for anybody else interested in getting Nordic Track or iFit, those individual plans will no longer be an option, which is definitely not great news. Now finally, we have the deals of the week, where we cover some of the hottest home fitness deals going on. And honestly, this week isn't the best week for deals. Nordic Track is still having their big spring sale with up to $500 off some of their most popular treadmills and bikes. The Garmin Epic Sapphire Edition, one of my favorite sports watches by the way, is currently on sale for $599, which is $300 off and actually cheaper than purchasing the non-Sapphire version currently. And Crossrope, the company behind the connected fitness jump rope, are having a sale from 15 to 25% off depending on the size of your purchase. And that's a wrap, my fitness geeks. I hope you enjoyed this week's recap for what's new in fitness. If you are in Germany for FIBO next week, let me know. Hopefully I'll see you there. Otherwise, thanks for being here as always, and I'll see you next time.